From your local election headquarters, this is Big Country Politics on KTAB.
All right, welcome back to Big Country Politics. We're continuing our conversation with Dr. Paul Fabrizio, political science professor over at McMurray University. Now, we were talking about recycling in China, how they stopped accepting. They wanted to stop being the dumping ground for the world, which is why a lot of cities are not taking plastic anymore. As far as glass goes, I think we had a big glass crusher and it broke, just too expensive to service.
Exactly.
So they're not gonna start that again.
Yeah, there's a cost with recycling.
Yeah, there is.
And I think we forgot about that cost.
Well, and I think the only thing that's successful right now is our tree trimming stuff. You can go take your tree trimmer, all your tree clippings, and then you can get a truckload of mulch. Have you ever gotten a truckload of mulch out there? Oh, it's great. You can drive your pickup over there and they'll dump a truckload of mulch. It's overflowing. It's great. You got to go do that one day.
Okay.
I want to talk about tariffs with you.
Okay.
Because I think when we started first talking about this, it was kind of out there. But now we're kind of seeing the effects of the ripple effects of
that. And the reality is that we Americans are paying for the tariffs. And while the president doesn't say that, that is the reality. The way they're structured, the taxes, the tariffs are imposed when the goods come to the United States. So those people who import the goods have to pay that tariff, that tax, and then that's passed on to us, the consumer. So there's consequences for that. There's some evidence when you look at the economic data that businesses are slowing down their purchases. Businesses are unsure of how this tariff war is going to play out. And as a consequence, they're taking steps back from being aggressive in the market. The positive thing about our economy, despite this tariff war, is that we consumers continue to spend. And 70% of the U.S. economy is us consumers. And as long as we continue to spend like we've spent in the past, the economy is going to be in really good shape. But there's troubling signs if you look at other countries around the world. I mean, what surprised me was that Germany, their economy has actually contracted for 3 months. If they do it another 3 months, that's a recession. Great Britain is about to go through the Brexit. Everybody says that's going to lead to a recession there. Those are two huge trading partners with the United States. How long can we continue to spend, we the consumers, to keep the economy going?
And have we lost sight of, I mean, we're talking tariffs. The next round of tariffs is going to be, I heard, electronics, laptops, cell phones, stuff like that. So we're going to see those prices go up. How long can we, like you said, can we keep covering these costs because they are trickling down to the consumer? What's the end game here? What are we trying to get out of this?
And see, that's the troubling thing. Clearly, we're at an unequal relationship with China. And China has taken advantage of us. And President Trump was so correct in challenging them. But are tariffs the best way to do that challenge? We're at an unequal relationships in terms of intellectual property, in terms of their theft of American knowledge, their copying American products. All of that has played a big role in why President Trump is doing what he's doing. But how do we get from having trouble with them to resolving these disputes? And the Chinese seem to be adopting the attitude that, well, President Trump has to go before the voters in 2020. Why don't we just wait? If we don't like the deal that's being negotiated now, why don't we just step back? We'll endure some pain, and their economy is having some pain. We'll endure that pain and wait and see what happens after the 2020 election.
It sounds like it's really who's going to break first. Tariffs, we're paying more. They're not selling as much because of the tariffs. So it's like you said, a waiting game. Who's going to break first?
Yeah, and the United States is very aware that you can only build up this pain on American consumers for so long before they're going to rebel. And one of the things the White House has done is it offered more money for farmers, including an offer that was made this week to help out farmers, because farmers are really suffering the worst of it. But also American manufacturers are hurting it. I was talking to a friend who is a minister, and he is seeing that the cost of religious supplies has gone up because of the tariffs. Who would have thought?
Stuff you don't even think about.
And that's the way they work. There's unintended consequences. And so how do you get out of it? When will we, the consumers, say, this is too much, we need to cut back on our spending? And as soon as we cut back on our spending, that's when we're in a recession.
Wow. Dr. Paul Fabrizio, always interesting having you on the show. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back on Big Country Politics.